have a duplicate dying. Welcome back to the colony. Today is time for another episode, and we don't have a very strict plan or any plans. Guess the next big thing for us to do is to explore the starting biome and then see what is there for us. What are all the beautiful findings that we can make, and also all the dangers that are hidden. And yeah, maybe we could address some food a little bit and also address the power. Let's go and check the research here. We're going to go with a smart battery here. That will be definitely helpful. Well, let's also merge the water tanks into one. I'm sure that's going to be helpful. And we will introduce some power room that's going to be coal based, so coal generators. We will have to make sure we're dealing with two things. One thing is the heat coming out of the generators, but also the carbon dioxide. So we'll have to create some sort of a pit here and do something about that. It would be great if we had the research ready, but apparently we don't. And what's needed? What's the research? Oh, it was here. I actually stopped it. That is unfortunate. That's fine. We can dump the water somewhere farther down, and we can also mark up the water tank with these tiles. Let's just do this. And I have to acknowledge at this point I'm not very sure what I'm doing, but I will call it exploring the starting biome and identifying the adjacencies. There are things we need to be aware of, and these are, well, I guess at this point the main thing is what is the temperature around us, and here it's getting a little bit warmer, hotter, but also we don't see necessarily any heat production, anything that produces heat here, so it's probably safe. Here, same story. And here as well. Here, same. Is it? Yes. And then it's just a little bit warmer rock here, no problem at all. Same here. So the map favors us, I think. This is beautiful. We need to get our hands on this thimble reed. That is an important thing to do. The danger of getting here is this polluted oxygen and some sort of germs hidden here. Actually, you know what? There's just a little bit of slime going on here. Not a big deal. We can find our way around it. No problem. So there's just a little bit of polluted oxygen that we need to take care of. We're not yet experiencing any food shortage or anything, but maybe there's some food becoming rotten. That is something to address. And yeah, let's start by creating another room, the 64 tiles room that we like so much now. And we will have this room as a kitchen. The doors are going to be here. Was this a 64 tile room? Yes. This way it is going to be. So we're not doing very well in power. Yeah, let's put the power generators somewhere here at the bottom of the base for a couple of reasons. One reason is that it will be closer to where we will have our CO2 treatment facility. And then also the heat is going to be created here, so we will be able to maybe cut it off somewhere here. And that should be no problem for our meal wood. That is the most important thing for us. That's our food source, the one and only. We also want to get our hands on this hatches and create a ranch, but we would also need a rancher for that. And finally, I think what we can also do is we can get a couple of these Dracos and start Draco ranching. That will be super helpful for getting our hands on fiber reed, and then that would be helpful for suits, and it will be helpful. Well, we can convert them into glossy Dracos as well, and then this will be our source for early plastic. Okay, so this is something interesting here. We have a cool sludge geyser, which is cooling things down, and that's not necessarily a bad thing if you want your things to be cool, but then for us, we're not sure. We're not producing heat yet. On the water project, I think we will also dump this water from here down here. But we need to create enough space first for this water so that it doesn't overflow into our beautiful bathroom. Also, one thing that I did notice is that our water is not flowing the way we intended. So it's no big deal, but the output of this bridge also splits the water between these plants and all the sinks and toilets here, which should not happen. So there's enough work queued for everyone. That is a good thing. Definitely a great thing to have, and maybe in the meantime we can focus on planning our coal generator, so we don't really want that to be like too close to the base. Maybe we go closer here. Well, we could do it here, but first we need to dump all the water from here to this tank, and maybe the tank then should be somewhat deeper. Let's make it a bit deeper. And we will have, well, we will require some higher digging skills, which I'm sure we're getting very, very soon. We can also make this space a nice little park, because we can. This space could also be a park because we can. Again, the reason's still the same. And water is not our first priority, but we're doing this anyway, because planning is key in this game. Although there's probably too much planning going on right now. But that's not a bad idea. Let's just have it in a different priority. So these rooms are fine. So what are we working on? Oh, here there's cool steam vents, which is not that cool. I mean, it's very good to have a source of water. That would be key for our base, but this is also a source of heat that we do not have any tools to deal with at the moment. The heat will slowly but surely go through layers here and hit the base at some point. Well, it's very far away still. But in general, I like the idea of isolating the base in a box or isolation tiles. And this is what we're going to do at some point. We need to work a little bit on that, but not right away. So we don't want our duplicants to be working in the water because they can't breathe there really, or because they're getting soggy feet and everything, so we don't want these debuffs where it's unnecessary. So we'll just build this, which also means that we should maybe put a pause here. So we will dig up this space and then build all of this, and then we'll let the water in. We do not have enough capacity in this accumulator, but we also have jumbo battery at this point, which is great. This also reminds me of the fact that this manual generator was preventing us from having a proper lab, which we will now address. And yay. And how are we doing on spaces here, mess hall? Oh yeah, so mess hall can become a great hall, and it should become a great hall. And for that, it will require some furniture. We need this as a recreational building, and then we will need this as a decoration. And as you may have noticed already, we're starting to have carbon dioxide challenges, and this is what we need to address first. So let's prioritize this a little bit more, And let's dig up this space so that we're able to dump all of this carbon dioxide away from our mess hall. I mean, it's very hard to keep up with the energy needs at this point. I don't think there's any reason to stay in greed, so we could definitely go off, but it's visually more pleasing to have it all aligned. Although I bet in just another 50 or I don't know, 50 more cycles we will not have visually pleasing things anymore. But let's enjoy while we can. We could even start planning a lunch, because why not? We will have to plan it. We can plan it here. I think that that's totally fine. Maybe just one floor away. How about here? And we also need to be consistent. Not that we need to be consistent, that would be nice to be consistent with how we are placing our walls. So the wrenching is a little bit different, because the wrenches are a little bit different. We will have, I don't remember, so, but yeah, I don't remember exactly the composition, how much we need to leave in the smaller space. I guess when we, yeah, let's just dig this up and then we'll figure based on the things that we're building there. Okay, but where we do want to go, that I feel is here. So we dig this up and then we go here, 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 here and here. I think that should be safe. And probably this way. Oh, okay, so they can't get here because of this tile. And as much as we love preserving nature, I think this one has to go. Yeah, well, this one, we can go back to 5 now. I think it should be all good. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are creating space for our power plant, which is going to be our temporary power plant, obviously. And then we will do the CO2 treatment here. Okay. Here I am inclined to believe we may want to have our oxygen diffuser, like another layer of them, which we may put here. Yes, let's do it. And nicely enough, we will have our wiring here, and I don't want to break these tiles yet because I feel the water pressure may go and break this pile of algae. So yeah, maybe not now. Let's do it last moment. Here and here. Well, actually more like this and like this. Okay, and maybe all of this could be just a tiny bit of a higher priority, because otherwise we will not have achieved anything in this episode. Good that we have set our bar our expectations low. And why are you not growing? Oh, irrigation. So that is actually a good sign. So this is not a farm of bristle blossoms. That is just a way to get rid of all the excess water, and the fact that few of them are deprived of water means that we're doing well. We're not providing too much of water. So let's see what the luck brings to us husband. Well, that is utter luck. Let's go here, and then we can immediately, or almost immediately, switch our research to the food production, which is ranching here, and that is amazing. How is this room for Draco ranching? Do we know? Can we tell? This is going to be, can't see it, 80, so 96 here. What does this mean? It means we have enough for a wall, but there will be some insides, so maybe it should go like this, and we'll have to do the calculations later. What we can do is we can put a placeholder for another ranch here. How are we getting our refined metal? That is the question you might be asking yourself, and that is definitely the question that I have now. So we do not have it because it's probably hidden with some research. So behind some research, and that is what is this research? Do I just not see it because it's somewhere where I don't expect it to be? Oh, here, rock crusher, that's what it was called. And we really want to speed this up, and this is where I'm getting to my typical bad behavior, which is prioritizing the things that I really want versus the things that need to be done. Was there some polluted water? Where did it come from? Interesting. And then there's some polluted dirt. We need a way? Oh yeah. So we will need a way. We do need a way to get rid of some polluted dirt already because of this refinery thing. We need to do it somewhere where the heat would be. Or the other way around, we can do it somewhere where the heat isn't a big issue still, so we can afford some heat. That is an interesting consideration. We'll just put it here temporarily. Alright, so now this looks almost ready. I wish we didn't have any of these debris lying around, but I think we can also get rid of this somehow. This way. And how, okay, so now this is truly coming together as a carbon dioxide pit, which is great news, except for we want to speed this up a little bit and have the water dump, at least for like this direction, this side. We want the water down here, and we can do the carbon skimmer, or yeah, carbon skimmer, and then we will be golden. Okay, I am losing patience here, and part of it is because we're so slow to move things. Maybe we should have, maybe we should assign some of the points for extra strength so that the duplicants could carry more than just 200 kilos. And that would have been helpful. But also, we don't have that anymore, so let's just, yeah, let's just break this up. Yeah, that is definitely annoying for all the little folk here. Let's not do that. Okay, so let's focus on getting the water down here and getting the carbon dioxide schema here. So we will do the following. We have it here. Can we have it here? Should we have it here? Should we have two? That is definitely a question. And that is definitely a question that I don't have answer to. But also that is just fine. Alright, so it will intake some water. And the water would be coming here, and it will output some water, and it will go through here. And the water that we have here, it can actually... So one way of doing this, we can create another closed circle like we had it here. Another way of doing this is tapping into this circle. Although now looking at this pipe that is blocked. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we're definitely not safe here. Okay. So how about we address that? And this is not growing. Okay, so this is very much dependent on whether we have enough energy in this battery or not, so that it can feed the light on the ceiling here, and then the bristle blossoms could just grow, and then they could take in all the water. I would say that is not dangerous at all. Let's just continue like we are. We do want to get rid of some of the water, but we will not be able to. Actually, you know what? It goes here, right? So we have the polluted water coming here, and there will be an overflow of water eventually, and of polluted water, and it should go here. And there will be some water coming here, and it should join the overflow. And it should also maybe just feed these plants that we will have at some point. So we have the water dumped here, that is great, and then we can also focus a little bit on that. So we'll dump water from here. Oh, yes, great. So now we have germs all over the place. No, not yet. Okay, we just have some polluted oxygen that is probably very nicely contained there, and we don't have to care about that. We can even make sure by adding this block over here. Or we can even make a deodorizer here, which is going to convert it into something nice, aka clean oxygen, and we will feed it in the traditional old manual, should I say artisan way. What we also have is this thimbleweed seed, and that is super important. So that basically means that we can stop doing this, and eventually all the water from these pipes will end up in somewhere, one of the plants. It also means that we can replant it to have plants that require polluted water, which will happen eventually, it's just not now. And what I'm also realizing now is that we probably need to do it a little bit differently. So the bridge should come here, or even here. Why, you may ask? And the reason is that I think the water will get confused. So if it will just, there's no way it will go past that point here, because there's an exit there which is probably just blocking it. This one can be uprooted. These couple are still growing, which likely means that they have water still going on in their pipes, and that is fine. We can also just break the pipes here, and we can do this instead. Because of this bridge, the water is not flowing over here. We want to plant our thimbleweed here, yes, and as soon as possible. And yeah, beautiful. So we have the water now coming in here. Thimbleweeds, I think they are very water hungry, so they will consume a lot of water. So we'll have no problem there. That's the theory. And we also want this deodorizer to be a little bit more active now. And maybe we want another deodorizer here. I don't know, maybe that is such an overkill. To be very honest, I have never done this way. But what if, for once, we could play a game where all the oxygen or all the atmosphere outside of the base included would not be polluted with all sorts of germs, and would not have the polluted oxygen all over the place, and would be just, you know, nice and great place for our dudes to live in. Okay, we can do the following now. We can also dump all of this water here, which immediately would mean that we are that we need to do something about this one. So we will so if we dump the water from here, okay, well, I guess that is already happening. That basically means that this pump is not getting enough water, and we will have to do something about that. Okay, we need to build another pump elsewhere. We will need clean water here, and we can take it from here. But what we could also do is that we could pipe it all the way here and here, and it wouldn't make much of a difference now, but it may play some role in future, because we may want to reuse some water from somewhere else before we drop it into our nice pool that is actually clean, surprisingly. By that time, typically I get it full of germs. Interesting. Must be doing something right this time. We could also mop these things up. Oh, look at this. Oh, uh-oh. Look at this. It actually has some slime lung somewhere. Or oh, it has slime lung everywhere. Forget what I said about nice little base with no germs. Luckily, no one got it yet. And it will die off. So now we can pretend this was the whole plan with having the oxygen, the clean oxygen here, because slime lung will disappear in clean oxygen, and it will just take a little bit of time. that's going to be fine. We can continue here, nice and safe. Oh, wrenching. Yes. So, food, no, not food, stations, yes. How comes I still haven't assigned that? Okay, well, I apparently don't know how to play the game. Anyway, so what we could do, in the meantime, we could place maybe like one storage bin over here, or two. And that gives us an answer on how big should this area be. So the idea here is to limit the space where hatch can go. Yeah, we'll continue our little exploration here and remove the gas from here a little bit further away. Oh, we have a duplicate dying. That is unfortunate, so we'll have to load a little bit. Things are moving the way we expect them to move, which is absolutely fantastic, and we can continue our building here and here. And now when I think of it, it's probably not a bad idea to also keep at least one of them wild, so that do they produce seeds when they're wild? At least we don't have to care. We don't have to take care of that plant. We can do this, and we will have to find a way not to get ourselves into too many germs. They will just get here, and we will assign... Yeah, please harvest. That is super important. And I don't really want to end the episode in this anticlimactic way, so we will have to stretch it a little bit, and then we will let's introduce the rock crushers, our primary and honestly the only way to refine metal. And the reason we need it is for the batteries, which we'll also put here. Batteries meaning smart batteries. And yeah, in this one we probably need to disable for a second, because otherwise it will be just producing waste. Well, anyways, so the treatment, the CO2 treatment, it is on its way. This thing is on its way. This thing is working. The only downside of my plan is that in order for us to get a smart battery, which we'll put here, we need this to be working. And in order for this to be working, we wanted this to be working, but we wanted a smart battery. So that is some catch-22 here. We will introduce a temporary battery, because there's nothing better than temporary. And now this is going to happen, enable the building. And here we want more copper. Here, what we can do, we can build this temporarily and get rid of this pump here, so all the water just nicely goes back. That will be helpful. Here we cannot build a bridge for the reason it's not accessible. No, it actually is accessible. No, it actually isn't, because there's this little tile that needs to be gone. This pump can go. Who would have thought that these also require power? And also, I don't think we can afford it. I mean, I don't think we can afford feeding both at the same time, so we'll have to do something about that. In the meantime, we have a great progress in having this, in having our metal being refined. That is definitely helpful. We will have the smart battery up and running. We will have automation if only we had it researched. So we would have an automation. Well, we will. It will just require a little bit of patience here. Finally, we can have this thing here, and we can have station. Yes, rooming station, the first one. And we... Oh yeah, critter feeder. Finally. What have we achieved in this episode? We have our power up and running. And it's not regulated. It will be in a second. So the automation wire is going to be this, and we will create some urgency around that. What do we have here? We still don't have the pickled meal, and the reason is we don't have the power connected, and we will at some point, and it's gonna be fine. Why does everyone look like they have to hold their breath? I mean, the room is full of oxygen, no? It has like 40 grams. I'm breathing that. Okay. I see. Okay. Well, that does not work. Will you? Yeah, okay. Nice. Saved. And now I think that is the time for wrapping up the episode. We have achieved few things. We have established our first generator, so first power supply other than human labor, although we still have some duplicants. I guess that's more of a hobby at this point, and they're not a real power generator person. And we have the power generator established that is controlled by a smart battery here, so it only goes online if it feels like the battery needs some more power. And we have established our carbon dioxide pit here, and it collects all the carbon dioxide from the base and it treats it with this nice carbon skimmer, which is great. And the water that is being produced here, it goes here, and it messes up our plan, which is totally expected. But we will take care of that in a second. Yeah. Alright, and then the other thing that we have achieved here is we have a nice little stable here, and that's 96 tiles, just like we like it to be, and we don't have anyone to be able to use it, but we will. We have a perfect candidate. And for sure we have dug up, well, we have observed, let's say, researched our map quite a bit here, and we know that the surroundings are mostly nice and safe, and we should be good to go here. This is moderately concerning, but we'll take care of that later. And here, not concerning at all. And here, beautiful, not concerning at all. So all in all good. So let me know what you think of the episode. And someone made a mess. Oh no. So someone made a mess, and that's because of our water treatment mistakes. Yeah. And this is the way we will get our water storage polluted with some germs. Unless we're able to somehow go here and... Okay. I think we're also trapped. Nice. Yeah, let's continue the film here. No. Okay, let's continue here. Okay, with that, I think we can finish the episode. Thanks for watching.